folks, I'm Vasel here, and welcome back to Look Back, which is where we take a look at reviews that I did last year, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago, and tell you what I think about those games today. So let's go back a year. First of all, we have Mash and Max, which the whole object I think here is to have this thing smash stuff, but this game has a push your luck mechanism in it for kids, which really doesn't work at all because you have to kind of push your luck to some degree, and you can lose everything. Not fun for kids. Princess Bride Battle of the Wits. This one sounds intriguing as you're moving stuff around from cup to cup and then drinking one of the cups and hoping that the one you drank was the correct one, but there's not enough information. It's really, frankly, kind of boring. Bad Medicine. This is a game in which you are making some sort of medicine that heals people and then selling it to everybody else. It's kind of a riff on other games like The Big Idea and Snake Oil Salesman. The problem with these games, with Bad Medicine, is it's very specific. It's all about medicine and how this can help you. And it kind of fails in that regard. I think it's too much of a one-note game. So, I mean, if you get bored of medicine after a while in this comedy thing, that's pretty much all you have. Bear Valley. Now, this one I liked. I thought the advanced game was just too much. I hated the artwork. And as the time has gone by, no one ever wants to play this one. I still think it's okay. You know, it has kind of a push your luck as you go find things. But it's a little too convoluted for what it is. And again, that graphic design really drags it down. So I don't know if I'll play this one again. Then we have Box of Rocks. This one sounds horrible, and yet it's actually very good. It's just a simple game where you guess a number from 0, 1, or 2. If someone asks you a trivia question, you shake up a box of rocks, and a box of rocks guesses randomly. So stupid, but it's fun. Then we have Linky. This is another party game, one I really enjoy. I play it on my phone or iPad sometimes, where you have 4 trivia questions, and you were trying to guess the answers to those questions, and each answer is linked somehow, and you need to figure that out. Then we have Pie Face. Yes, this game is nothing. It's essentially just, is a pie going to hit you in the face? But that's inherently funny. At least I think so. And have a lot of great success. The kids, the youth are always borrowing this from me. Pie Face. Imhotep. This is a fantastic game. Was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. In my opinion, should have won. This game about building pyramids and other monuments. A great, simple game. Are you going to take stones, put a stone in a boat, or move one of the boats to one of the locations? Easy choices, but really a great game in there. Mystic Veil. This is a card crafting game in which you're putting cards in plastic sleeves and building those cards. I really like the concept. It's really fascinating on how it works together. It is definitely devoid of theme for the most part, but the concept is good enough to overcome that. Magecraft. This is a bag building game where you're putting gems into a bag and using these gems to launch spells at another player. It works really well. There's a 2-player game as you're building different spells and launching these spells and making your spells better. But this whole bag building concept is something I like anyway, and it works really well here together. Dead of Winter Long Night is the last one from a year ago. And I dropped this one slightly because I just don't play Dead of Winter as much these days. I still really like it. Me personally, I think I'd prefer to have this one over the original game. 6 of one, half dozen the other, but this one has some cool stuff, and I really did like, going and finding these really weird mutated zombies. The focus is a little more on zombies, I think, in this one than the first game, but really it's same. So get one or get the other. All right, 5 years ago, first we have Vendimia, which was a game in which you are like getting food and wine for your restaurant, but this game has this drought mechanism which constantly hits, which makes it very hard to get anything done and made it pretty unfun. Fistful of Penguins is another rolling dice game to get things done. You roll dice, and it was just merely okay at best. And Pyramus, kind of the same thing. This was another one of these fairly okay games, and we kind of are looking for more than that. You're building these gems in a pyramid. It looks neat, but it was just too easy. And we want a little bit of a challenge. But there were some good games that I looked at 5 years ago. First, we have Hare and Tortoise, which actually has gone up over time. This is a very old game. It won the first Spiel des Jahres, where you are moving your rabbits around, and sometimes you need to move them back because you need to get more carrots to move them forward. It's a good concept, works really well together. It was just reprinted by Yellow as Around the World in 80 Days. Mi Tierra actually went down a little bit, but I like it. It's a big worker placement game like Agricola, really a farm. We're getting these cards. They made a new version of it, and it's good. It's just slightly bloated and slightly not enough interesting options. There's a lot of good options, but there should be, I think, a few more in this one. And finally, Kamisato, which is one of my favorite two-player abstract games, where you're simply moving a piece straight or diagonally as far as you can. As far as you want to, I guess is the better term. Whatever color space you land on, that's the color piece your opponent must move. Very simple concept. Great game. And finally, 10 years ago, there's Scum, which, lends itself to all sorts of jokes. I especially like the joke in the game. One player is a scum, and the person next to them is next to scum. But anyhow, the game basically could just be played with a regular deck of cards. There's almost no difference, and it's not colorblind friendly, which is problematic, and it's just the most basic ladder climbing game. Don't get it. Fishing for Terrorists is Go Fish with special powers added. No one has ever asked for that. Kids don't want these special powers because it adds too much thing. They also don't want the terrorist theme. And adults don't want to be playing Go Fish. Bad choice. And then Clock Towers, which is a card version of a very popular game, well, it was popular, called Capitals, where you're slowly building these clock towers with cards. I enjoyed this one. So those are the games I reviewed 1, 5, and 10 years ago. I'll see you next time. This has been Tom Vasel in the Dice Tower with Look Back.